Alright, we're gonna do a couple of audio tests. I go bang, 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 bang. Barely clipping into the red. Go bang, 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 bang. Stop recording. Alright. Alright, that sounds good. Sounds good. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna take a piss. And then we start for real. Alright, we're gonna do one more quick little audio test before we get running. And do the boom, 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 boom. Check that recording real quick. And what are the recordings? Okay, I sound good. Sound good. No frame drops at all this stream. All right. So, let's see. Turn that off. So I guess I'm just gonna do a little bit of preparatory stuff before anybody actually shows up. And I guess I'm just gonna think out loud for a moment. So let's see, we were Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku, the witch. And our end goal is we want to turn somebody into a broom, but we don't even have enough MP to do that. So we're just sort of moseying on through the game, getting all of the initial setup done. And I've also had a bit of a change of mentality. Oh, hello! So everything is going swimmingly. Everything seems to be 100% functional. And we can finally get back to playing as Hatsune Miku. Man, it's been so long since I've played this character. It's only been like a week. And yet it already feels like it's been absolutely forever. So let's see how I want to do. The way that I organize my bags has changed significantly. All right. Boomerang. I've taken to just putting my money and my currencies into my second hotbar since I haven't really needed that space anyways. So we're carrying around bonfire. Okay. Just gonna dump all of this on her. Okay, so we've got... I think we've got everything that we might want all set up. Okay. So we had just paid our taxes. And I think we're kind of in between things. But a thing that I've taken to doing whenever I have to go out all the way to Mysilia, so I might as well... nope. Might as well try and see if there's any quests that we can do. Yeah, just kill some random monsters. Bottle of ale. We might be able to do that, but getting here and back in 12 days might be a little bit tight. So it's just the kill quest. So I've been concocting a little plan to try do something a little bit fancy. Hopefully. So last time we were looking for rocks. I want to use the cane. Oh my god, it drains your MP so much, though. Let's see, how am I set up? Yeah, we're set up on Archer. Alright. Oh, we have to, yeah. Don't just hold out the cane. Okay. So let's gather up some bones while we're here. Let's see if there's a specific kind of rock that I'm looking for, which has been a bit overly elusive. It's kind of the most annoying first little hump to get over. It's just finding free little diorite to make your first disassembly hammer. And I have... Can I just click that? Yes, I have a feat point. Yeah. You can tell that they really just put the Hatsune Miku skin in the game on purpose. What feats do I even have? Skills. Let's see. True crafting, alchemy. She's right there. I can't believe it. Okay. Okay. So some skills that that I find really important are cooking and farming, because you know. It's kind of what the game is about. So, I'm also going to try and make a point to go out and buy those skills as well. Slate, I think slate slightly better. Of course we weren't able to find it. And that, you know what? There's also a couple of additional things that we might want to do before. There's just so much, like, little bits of prep work. Oh, Jesus Christ. We got ambushed. Like, there's always something. Oh my god. So these yeeks with the scimitars are no fucking joke. Yeah, she's dead, and there's probably nothing I can do about. Yeah. Like, at random, I don't know if it's like their crit damage. Or something's insane. Sometimes I have no issues with them, and at random they will just two-shot me, like, out of nowhere. So that means we are fucking leaving. And I think that probably seals the deal on us going back home, because she had all of our food. Okay. Okay. So a bunch of stuff is ready to be harvested. Okay. Luckily, they just revive automatically after a couple days, so it's no big deal, but if we were in the middle of a dungeon or something, we would have probably been screwed a little bit. God, there's so much going on. And I need to move my phone as well, because it's covering up the statuses. see if I can get this set up on the other side. Okay. Or not. Or if I can get this to sit at a lower... Nope. Does not want to sit at a lower angle. Wants to sit exactly at the level of the status effect. Or whatever. I can barely see that took away my hunger. Okay. God, there's so much shit going on. Like, the moment I threw this up, I'm like, oh my god, there's so many little things that I need to change. Okay, so what else is in your inventory? Couple of seeds. Actually, you can... Actually, the first thing I need to change is the distribution on this. So I want this to be second from highest priority. And then I want this to be highest priority, but it doesn't take food or drinks. And then the cooler is also highest priority, but it only takes food and drink. Alright, so that should make that significantly less annoying. And let's see, let's throw... Yeah, we are gonna need to make another chest. What do we need to make another chest? We need nail and some planks. God. So easy to just randomly click something and shoot yourself off in some random direction. Alright. And then a nail. Nail. A bone nail for some odd reason. Just make that rosewood chest. And we're gonna shuffle everything around real quick. Down there. What can we... let's take out all of the rocks. All of the gemstones. Let's take the dirt out. Throw that into the other chests. And we're actually just going to toss all the junk stones and pebbles. They're really useless. And we sell the awful. Then this is going to be the inorganic chest. So we put the herb away. Do we have any money? We have plenty of money. So the title and the thumbnail has... We want the millstone, the sculpting table. It's a very interesting image of a cube in... I'm just going to plant these in some random places. A cube in an alchemy circle. So, the first thing we're going to need... in order to get that rolling is actually going to be, I think that's, is that in, where is sculpting table? So we need 3 stones worth of blocks, 2 logs worth of planks, and then 3. Why do we still have junk stones? No, do not mine that wall. Where are junk stones. They literally don't even sell for anything. I've just been putting them in the shipping chest to get rid of them. And we need 6 cute. Where the... There's more? How is there more? There's not more. What did I just do? Oh. I put them into the regular chest. Okay. So just get rid of all that. Okay. And then we need well, we actually don't have a lot of rocks. I'm just gonna get some random... See, there might be... There are random rocks somewhere. Yes. Let's just put that away. Make our granite cubes. These granite cubes are going to be... Where did it go? Or is it just in the workbench? Yes. Are going to be the key to unlocking a very, very powerful little exploit, but we don't have any of that stuff yet. Do I already have a sickle somewhere? No. So we need to make a sickle. Oh, which is also going to require more rocks. Sure, I'll make a phyllite sickle. So we need a stick. Let's just make an oak stick. And is it 1 or 2? One string. 1 string. Let me make that sickle. Get some seeds. What did we... And we drop the sickle. Now we have the sickle. And then specifically we're going to sickle up the tomatoes. Alright. I'm just going to gather the rest of this normally. Just to get it out of the way. We have sleep. So the game doesn't try to murder us. And we have mail. It's just one of these letters again. I really should read all of these sometime, but I've just been ignoring them. Where have I been putting all that? Okay. Where? So there was a quest to complete our pay our taxes. Yeah, literally the first thing. Oh my god, you have to talk to him before you pay your taxes in order to get the reward. Never mind. Yeah, it's pretty funny that pretty much instantly after you, like, establish your base and have a mailing address, they start sending you junk mail. And you can read these too. No. Right? Yeah, you can read these. I've never actually gone through and read any of them, but I don't want to do that right now. We don't have any platinum coins yet. So we can't get any new skills anyways. God, this place is a mess. Might as well. I think you... Yeah, you sell the signboards. I'm just gonna throw up here so that we can set up our homestead policies. So you can immediately start taxing people. I don't know if there's any downside to it, but I prefer to put on the growth boost, the anti-littering law, and the weed pulling campaign. Otherwise, you get like all of this insane amount of like litter and weeds everywhere. Which I think I'm gonna go around and pick all of that up. Yeah, this game, you can... There is like a whole system about making your villagers happy. And like making sure that you're producing enough food and stuff like that. And then like trash and weeds will appear everywhere if you're not running your town correctly. Okay. Like, I think this bag literally just appeared here. Okay. Yellow flower. I like to just sell the flowers. Before we go anywhere, we have to move this so we can get at... Get out of the way. Please. So we can get at this chest. Or better yet, move the... Not throw the vase. Move the vase so we can get at the chest. So, for whatever reason... When you're farming, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, you need to remove the dirt, or you need to remove the grass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the way the perspective here works is so weird. You need to remove the grass. And then you also need to hoe the dirt separately. Which takes absolutely forever. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where we're going to set up our little tomato patch. Is that... What is the mind? Does a machine have a mind? Well said, clownfish. So I've noticed fish being able to like jump out of the water, but I've never seen one just kind of walking around. Which is interesting. We're exhausted again. We also need to make... God, there's so much inscrutable. That's... Oh, we are starving. Okay, so let's just stuff our faces until I see the edge of that tooltip disappear behind my phone. inscrutable is definitely the way that I would describe. And I'm just gonna eat this for just to be sure I'm full. There's always like just stuff happening. Things just happen around you, and like I'm not sure if that is like if it's intended or not. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm not sure if like if something goes wrong, is it because I did something wrong, or is it that something just went wrong? You know? It's kind of hard to tell how much I'm supposed to know, or how prepared I could possibly be. Let's also get rid... Okay. Before we get sidetracked. I think we're like quadruple sidetracked at this point. So we've completed the first task, which is making the sculpting table. But now we need to make a disassembly hammer. Let's get rid of all this junk. Or let's just plant this seed. And I guess I can't really hold it against the game, but it's very, very good at like gameplay looping you. Is something I've noticed. It's very good of putting down a goal, and then in the process of you trying to figure out how to complete that goal, you will inevitably be kind of sidetracked by a dozen other things that are just kind of happening to you. Which is fun. Because none of it's boring. Even if on paper, when you say like, oh, you end up just doing dungeons and dungeons over and over again, and you just kind of sit around doing farming, and you can never find the rocks that you need. I've never found myself ever bored while playing this game. Okay, so what are we doing now? Do we have silk? We can just check that. Checking this. We have some silk. We can actually make our silk sleeping bag. So we just need 3 strings. And then the silk sleeping bag basically... Because silk has the pleasant property, which gives you extra bed comfort. So having a silk sleeping bag is essentially the best bed you can have for a very long time. And then let's put down... So somebody is going to immediately jump on... Yeah, Loytel. I'm pretty sure Loytel... our like tax advisor is technically our only actual citizen. He can sleep in the hay bed instead. I don't think your companion needs a bed. Or at the very least, they won't begrudge you for it. Yeah, we're cool. So another thing is there is a surprising amount of lore behind why you can have a little girl as your pet. Like I think we ran into a Big Daddy last time, and how there's this whole side quest about beating Big Daddies and then rescuing little sisters. They like little sister is like a race in this game, and it's not clear like how like cognizantly human they are. And again, just another weird little quirk. Like, there's an entire race that is like a reference to BioShock of all things. Like, I didn't even know that BioShock was that big in Japan, but I guess this guy really liked it. I mean, you can pick worse games. So basically, what I'm saying. I'm not sure if this is a person, right? I'm not sure if this is like an actual fully fledged human being. Okay, so before I get super sidetracked, let's just throw all of our farming. We need a better... We don't have a better chest for this. Let's put all of this in here. I almost want to put the cane away. I think canes are kind of bad early game. Because they're so expensive. Where is it? Do you make canes here, or do you make canes here? We don't even have the gems. But also, I want to use a cane. I want to shoot magic out of my cane. Okay, so what do we need? We need rocks for the hammer. Because if we don't have the hammer, nothing works. Let's make sure to put that away. We need to kill some monsters, so I think we are just gonna do... We're just gonna do... random dungeon. We're not doing a level 4 dungeon. Sure, let's go into the unnamed ruin. Immediately get attacked by a crab. It's actually a good use for this. Yeah, like that drained half of our MP. Okay. And I think I'm just gonna pick up all of the... Ooh, cape. A grass cape. It does jack shit all, but we're gonna put it on anyways. And we don't need a junk stone. So silk is extremely important. So if you get a jelly item, you can actually eat it, and I think I'm actually just gonna do that. God, girl, just go insane on him while you're at it. So just eat the short sword. So whenever you're doing a dungeon, you essentially have to just be constantly picking up every single spider web and vine that you come across. Okay, let's let her... Okay, please, for the love of God, just walk in front of me. There you go. Okay. So stuff like vines for making string and stuff like that is very hard to find. And essentially the only place you can find that type of stuff is in dungeons. Also, these copper coins are fun. We can use those next time we go pay our taxes. For a gotcha machine. That gives you junk, but the junk is good because it can be made out of like rubies and emeralds and shit. Okay, so let's lure them out. What the fuck does the wheel shrine do? Oh, it gives you a recipe. I got casino chair recipe. But yeah, the little Pokeball gachapon machine that gives you random junk that is sometimes made out of precious jewels and metals that you can disassemble it for. It's pretty fun. Alright. Don't you love it? Just door that goes into a hallway that just goes back into a door that the original room was in. And I think that's all, and we're also hungry again. Oh boy. So yeah, Yeeks Yeeks can be scary. Also, we're tired. But I've never been punished for sleeping in a dungeon yet, so I'm not going to stop now. We're hungry again. Alright. Oh my god, that just took out half my health. I don't know, sometimes you just get, like, fucking rocked. Oh my god. So sometimes boss monsters can just... Oh my god, it's a caterpillar. Can just, like, barrel through walls. I'm not extremely worried about this one, though. Hey! Hey, what is this? Oh my god! Rubinus is the best material in the game. I can't do anything with it because it's also the hardest material in the game. So I can't even attempt to disassemble this for Rubinus, but that's crazy. Fucking. We could take the chest, but it's probably way too heavy. It's also not that good of a container anyways. So whenever you defeat like an elite, they drop a grave, which I like taking. Okay. And these junk piles are good because they tend to give you random good stuff. Like batteries, and sometimes they'll give you good scrap metal or something like that. What did we just... Oh, petite. But yeah, so I'm just going to clear this. Oh, we also got some small metals. Currency number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's also... You can get... So, there's... The gold bars, there's the orens, there's old tickets, there's... I forget what they're called. They're like recycling tickets that you can get. There's the platinum coins, gold coins, and silver coins, and then there's also a gold, silver, and copper strange coins that you can get that all have different uses. Which is fun. I don't know why he decided to design it that way. But yeah, luckily inventory spaces aren't that big of a deal in my experience. Typically by the time that you're like full up, it's time to go back home anyways. Try and back up so she can tank for us. And we found a gun! A cursed gun made out of grass. So probably useless. Alright. You can also give her the hearts and stuff, because they won't rot in her inventory. So the hearts are good money. They probably have some sort of use, but I haven't really found. I'm willing to take the -1 karma to give me the fucking... Please give me the nuts back. I'm going to die. Alright. We can actually cook. I recently discovered you can actually cook with the bonfire without putting it down. Yeah, my awesome grass gun, which I'm probably just going to sell because I don't know how to make bullets yet. And of course, we burned it. Of course we burned our only source of food. We're not quite hungry yet. Give me that back as well. It's also very funny is if you accidentally give them any money, they will not give it back to you unless you force them to give it back to you. And they are never happy about that. Let's let her come in. This is just a regular stone. Some cotton fiber. Kids, am I right? Yeah. It's kind of funny how realistic it's like, no, I'm not giving you the $500 back. It's like, no, you're gonna give me the money back. A wooden t-shirt that doesn't even give you any defense. My awesome wooden shirt. Now let's position a little bit. Right. 1 second. All right. And then I think we can just leave. Second, I need to click on something on the map. There we go. Did we even get what we came for? I don't even remember. I think we were just generally trying to get rocks and strings and stuff. And I think we genuinely left with less than we even came in with. We have a random spot, so I know I'm just gonna sell the gun. Let's put the caterpillar right there. Also, I've been coming across quite a few friendly caterpillars in dungeons, which has been strange. Is because they're just kind of in the way. Right, let's just put this down. Put down. Grave of a caterpillar. Turn this back around. Most of these are my graves, though. You know, it's lore accurate. It only makes sense. Desperately struggling. Normally I have a bunch of boxes by now. Let's just put... I'm also just gonna sell the wooden shirt, as it is actually just useless. And then a grass longbow. I mean, I guess she doesn't have any arrows, but it comes loaded with 12. I might as well give that to her. So let's see. I guess I'll throw that in with the junk. I typically have... Oh yeah, we can just sell the paper mace. Put all this stuff. We'll get... Do we have Identify? I forget if we picked up Identify. We don't have Identify. Because we don't have any... We don't have enough platinum coins. How far... Okay. Now we have a mailbox. No, I want to grab it. Put that right there. So now we actually be able to Instead of just dropping it randomly on the ground, they'll actually put it in the mailbox. Do we have a random, like, potions and scrolls? Kind of. I guess we can keep the scrolls of evacuation. Just throw that. Rod of... don't really want to carry around any more than I need to. Alright. So we are still desperately in search of either 2 more diorite or 2 more basalt. Just randomly plant the trees. God. I don't know how I managed to get so much junk so fast. We might need another wooden box. So we need a nail. And 1 set of planks. Throw this down right there. Get rid of that. Yeah, I'm gonna put the cane away. I'm sure it'll be good later, but for now it's not really of any use to us. Okay. Okay, so we need rocks. We need exactly 2 rocks. Yeah, let's go. Let's head up to the mountains this way. Since there's no caves around. So what we're looking for... We also need to be on the lookout for food as well, since we're getting kind of short. I never used that feat we got earlier. Do we already have... Yeah, we already have Dreamwaker. Oh no, we were saving up for the final level of Dreamwaker. Because Dreamwaker is so good. We're looking for a little green... or black rock. So if we can get that, all of our problems are essentially solved. Okay. See, another friendly caterpillar. Alea tried to leave us in peril during the 10 Years' World. Okay. And limestone's also decent as well. Nope, nope, nope. Did not want to walk all over the place like that. And we're hungry, and we're tired. We're down to our last nut. We're still hungry. We are actually going to have to do a little bit of foraging. I think we're gonna sleep as well. We're hungry again. In an endless cycle. There we go. So we need 1 more basalt. Basalt would be particularly nice, since it's the stronger of the 2 materials. Phyllite is essentially useless It's softer than granite, and granite is easier to find than phyllite. And we can go home, because we weren't even in the mountains, and we just found 2 rocks on the ground in the middle of a forest for no reason. Okay, so that actually steps us all the way up to the final phase of the plan, was we're going to make the hammer, and we're going to have some fun. And a random locked chest that I can't open. It's so frustrating how often I will come across a locked chest that I simply cannot open, because only the thief starts with lockpicking. And in order to get to the Thieves Guild, you have to commit like 1,000 crimes or some shit. It's actually kind of crazy. What are you mad about? The eye? You know, for how threatening the eye monsters are, they're surprisingly, like, not a threat at all whatsoever. Like, they can paralyze you, but I've never really felt like they were going to kill me. He was asleep. We didn't have to murder him. He was asleep. He was running away. Why did we do that? Okay. So, all of our wildest dreams have come true. And we get ambushed. So the most deadly thing about an ambush is that you get attacked by a lot of creatures at the same time. And that's like the most dangerous thing that could happen to you, because if like 4 creatures attack you at the same time, they can just kill you. There's a marble. Eh. It's worse than basalt anyways. Like, I've had some situations where, like, sometimes you can actually get, like, if you run into an enemy, like, let's see if we can see one. Like, sometimes there's roaming enemies, like that alpaca that was up there for a second. If we run into that alpaca, they'll try and mug us. And then we'll be attacked by, like, 16 alpacas and die instantly. Alright. So we have the stones. We have the basalt stones. So what do we need to make our basalt hammer? A stick. Let's actually put all this stuff away. Sell the flowers. And then we just put... Oh, did not want to walk there. Put this away, put that away. Just gather up any berries or anything we find, so we don't die. Okay. Randomly getting attacked by bandits. So nothing's actually grown. Handful of crims. Okay. So we got the rocks, we need a string. And then we need... Let's see, we also need a stick. Just make it a grass stick. I'm sure there has to be a better word they can use. I think this is supposed to be like a stick from a bush or something like that. It's grass, so you make grass sticks. Okay, so we have our basalt, and we have an extra basalt. What did we just make? Oh, we made a slate hammer. Luckily, we didn't just fuck ourselves over royally. So we can just make another string and another grass stick. And we can make our basalt hammer. And we can just sell the slate hammer. It doesn't matter. And also put away the flour. So, I think we should be good to go. So, where does the magic begin? So you cut a stone into cubes. And then, what do you think happens when you disassemble, let's make sure we're saved, one of these cubes? You get a rock. And then you can turn that rock back into cubes. So what you end up getting, you make sure to save, because you don't always get it back. Actually, more often than not, don't get the rock back. What you end up getting is infinite rocks. So now, what is the point behind the infinite rocks? Well, in the early game, it basically skips all of the annoying running around looking for rocks phase. Once you get your 2 basalt rocks, that's the hardest rock that you can just find, and you're golden. And I kind of have mixed feelings on, because this is obviously an exploit. I don't think you should be able to disassemble the cubes back into rocks to get more cubes. But it's not that powerful, because crafting in and of itself isn't actually that powerful. Like now that I have my basalt hammer, and now I'm going to make a basalt pickaxe, that's kind of the extent of what it gets you. The more important thing it would do is you can use those cubes to make arrows. You can do the same with planks and logs, because for whatever reason, disassembling a plank gives you a log. So once you have 1 log and 1 rock, you have infinite logs and rocks of that type. And maybe you could exploit that to like sell like weapons and stuff, but it's so like time consuming, and honestly it starts to grate on your nerves after a while. So it's not even really the best way to make money in the first place. So it's not really broken in that way either. And it's, so on one hand, it's not that powerful, but it's also obviously an exploit. And I think the only reason it's not more powerful is that the crafting system is kind of underbaked. And there isn't a lot that you can actually do with it. It's obvious that they want you to go out and do dungeons and like buy gear. Like they want you to engage with the random elements of the game. And I need a drink. So the crafting, it's only good to like just barely get you started. So like on that end, you know, who cares about exploiting it for some free cubes to sort of skip over the annoying part of getting your first pickaxe. And another point of it not being that strong, despite being insane because it's infinite rocks, is that even though I have a basalt pickaxe, I still need to get lucky and find like an iron rock to actually mine with the pickaxe. And even if I do find the iron rock, my pickaxe isn't the only factor in deciding whether or not I can even mine that rock. Whereas I'd still need to build up my mining skill. So it only gets half of the equation solved to a certain degree. It gets the very annoying part of the equation solved, which is just getting lucky and finding the rock. But it doesn't solve the entire equation all on its own. But I can definitely imagine this becoming a big issue if they ever implement anything that you can actually do. If there's ever any sort of like limited thing that's actually good that you can spend rocks on, because the only like really useful thing it does is it ensures that you always have some rocks to make arrows out of. But if you're not using arrows, it doesn't really have that much of a use. But later on, there is a couple of funky things you can do with cut stones, because we still haven't discussed why I made the sculpting table, which hopefully, let's see, how long has it been? In the next hour or so, I can get down to that. So in order to start that, we're gonna need to make, and also if you need like bulk cubes, it's not great. It's like a painful process to try and make all of the cubes that you need. And so let's see. So on to the next thing that we want to do is we want to make a smelter. And in order to make a smelter, we need ore. Ore is not free. Ore is also not a free find. But yeah, that's probably going to have to be for another stream. We are going to progress it. There's still more to this concept of what many refer to as esoteric knowledge. Of these little tricks that you can do. Okay. But for now, I won't show my hand on that yet, because it's slightly more interesting than infinite rocks. But for now, we're just gonna have to keep playing the game. And also, if you want a bunch of rocks, what you can do is if you go into a dungeon that has brick walls, you can just disassemble the brick walls. And they give you way more rocks than like doing the infinite rock glitch. So it's not even like rocks are like a choke point in this game. It's just like you need to get your first set of rocks, and getting that first set of rocks is annoying. So I think it's positive in that way, as it gives you a way to circumvent that little frustrating point in the beginning of the game. But other than that, it's just kind of a quirky thing that this game has in it. Eat all of our nuts. Okay. So speaking of tearing down all of the walls in a dungeon, and also you do need to get lucky, and it takes time to deassemble them back into rocks if you actually need the rocks. But yeah, all of that showing off, basically to say, it's a very fun little thing that you can do. But it's kind of dubiously useful. As I would please please give me my basalt rocks back, please. Please. But yeah, it's kind of just the result of... Oh, that increases your crafting skill. I guess if you were, like, desperate to increase your crafting skill. Okay, so now we can just make our basalt pickaxe. Please stop walking around randomly. That basically gets us all set up. Okay. And we'll just sell the old pickaxe. Put away Our magic cube. Bring back out the magic cane, because I remember that it's very good for dealing with the crabs. Okay, so the next thing that we want to make is kiln, so that we can make clay bricks. Oh, that means we need... do we have the millstone? Okay, so we just need 4 of any rock. So we need the millstone so we can make clay, so that we can make the kiln, so we can make the smelter. So we need the millstone. Okay. So we're just gonna go pick up a random rock off the ground real quick. Some good money. It's very funny. The flowers are giving us more than the actual equipment. And you can just pick the flowers up off the ground. Okay. Okay. Let me make millstone, which we need 2 strings. All right. Millstone. Had to happen at some point. Had to happen at some point. Okay. That also means we need to sleep. It's not an LN stream unless we worked ourselves to death once, right? Okay. We're just gonna put this right there. So the millstone's interesting. It has a bunch of uses, like you can grind up herbs to make herbal powders that you can make medicine out of. You can use it to essentially disenchant potions, or like re-roll them almost. And you can use it to make clay. So something you'll notice is that to make clay, you need a potion, a drink of some kind. Now, an interesting quirk of Ellen is that there's no regular water. You can't just get water. Getting regular water is actually extremely difficult for whatever reason. And in its place, you just use potions to make stuff. And that can be kind of annoying, because you can't just carry around potions, because there's so many different kinds of potions and you get them randomly, and it's kind of hard to find potions, so it's kind of inconsistent. So what's the workaround? So for whatever reason, you can grind bones and it gives you bone powder, which gives you a calming effect when you snort it, when you snort the bone powder, but it is considered a drug. And because it's considered a drug, it is actually considered a potion. So you can just mix bone powder and soil to make clay instead of having to waste actually useful potions. I have no idea why they designed it like that, but that is how it works. You know, just like real life. You put the acid-proof liquid in the dirt, and that's how you get clay. Or you grind up bones into the dirt to make clay. Right, how much actual clay do we need for the kiln? We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. It's not clay, we need dirt. Thankfully, there is just dirt laying around. So, how do I have dirt? Oh, because I already had a pickaxe. I'm like, this whole stream was about getting a pickaxe. How did I get dirt without a pickaxe? Oh, it was because it was not getting a pickaxe. Also, now we can get copper rocks, which copper actually sucks. For some reason. It's harder to get than rocks, but its hardness is lower than basalt, and the like damage multiplier off of copper is lower. But if you make weapons out of copper, it deals lightning damage, which is interesting. And if you make arrows out of copper, it adds lightning damage to your arrows. Okay. Actually, that puts us back on track, because now we have the ore we need in order to make our forge. We only need one ingot for the trick that I'm going to be showing off today. Let's just gather up all of the random copper rocks that are around. I forgot that you always spawn with some copper rocks in your home base. Let's just gather all of that up. Are we starving to death? No, we're not starving to death. Okay. And let's just gather up a little bit more soil. Yeah, it's not enough that the game is confusing. I am also confusing myself continuously. So let's put all this stuff away. So what do we need? So it was rocks. Rocks were the issue. So we just need to go out and get a bunch of rocks. Let's put... I didn't want to talk to you. Let's put copper ore away. And hopefully the dungeon that we just cleared is still there, because it has brick walls that we can plunder. Yes. Or I guess we might be able to just go to... We get ambushed, of course. We might be able to just go to this new one right here, and we're gonna pick up some food while we're out here. Okay. Try to pick up some food while we're out here. We already used up all of our bandages. Yes, we did. The petite meat. Is there coral in this random pond? Okay. Unusual. Let's see, do you... Oh, this is a copper dungeon. This is not a stone dungeon. And let's go over to this one. Oh, she's probably about to die. Shit. Yeah, that entire dungeon is made of copper. And you can disassemble every single wall in there for copper. Which is kind of nuts. It's like, so one of the themes a dungeon can have is like old factory. It's kind of cool. There's like a whole lore about like there's like a machine god in this game, which is pretty interesting. There's kind of this suggestion of like there's like an old world that had like super technology or something like that. Okay, so now we're just gonna plunder as many of these as we want. Oh yeah, you can also destroy walls. And if you have have the right crafting table, you can actually craft walls. So you could totally rearrange the entire layout of a dungeon if you wanted. Okay, and now we're overweight, and that should be done, because that's like 40. Actually, we're gonna... Are we... No, we're just tired. We're gonna sleep. Why are we awake? Oh, because our backpack is way too heavy. Here, take... Nope. Take half of the rocks. Thank you. Now we can sleep. Yeah, if you carry too much stuff, it can kill you. Okay, so now everybody's fully healed. Now we can go back. We can get jumped again. Just like in real life. So great of example of why bats are the worst enemy in the game. Because they just love to run away. Performers are monsters. However, they are counted as humanoids. And if you eat humanoid meat, it will give you horrible hallucinations. So even though this is a high quality marbled meat of a public performer, we are not going to eat it. Even despite the fact it is bursting with juice, velvety, rare, and pumpkin-sized, which for some reason is a positive thing, we are not going to eat the public performer. We are going to cook it, though, and we are going to sell it. We just need to make sure not to eat it, and make sure she doesn't eat it either. And we might as well cook. Oh yeah, we have the petite meat as well. You can throw her that. Actually, no, we're gonna... No, she needs it more than we do. We'll just throw the pebbles away. And we'll eat the nuts. Just gonna eat all that real quick. Because it is high quality, and it does sell for decent money. All things considered. And people will buy it. I mean, it's not illegal. Okay. Let's see how much we put away. Just get all this random... Oh, this is a special bow with a bunch of bonus sockets that we're not going to use. Grass branch, a regular stone short sword, and then some seeds and some random junk. Let's put that down there. I hope he likes all of his statues. Okay, so let's plant random seed, put away stick, put away the rock, and then we need 10 cubes, so we're gonna make 5, give us 10. 10 cubes. And then that should be enough to make kiln. Put down there, actually. Okay, so now we can make our clay bricks. So I believe this doubles the clay that you give it. And we gotta move our gravestone. So we only need one more clay, which is made at the millstone. So we need to make one more bone powder. I'm just gonna make 2 more bone powders. Okay. And then we throw those. Oh, we need to fuel it. Those in there. Yeah. Just turn all of the clay into clay bricks. And what else? Okay, so smelter. Now we need 6 more cubes. Means we need 3 more rocks. And then we have our... Oh no, we need 12 cubes. I could not imagine going through the process of duping 12 cubes. I think we're up to like 22 cubes at this point for all of this stuff. I would much rather just go out and play the game than actually dupe 12 cubes. So the smelter allows us to smelt, or it also allows us to smelt jewels and make little jewel bars. So this is where the final piece of the puzzle comes in. So we take this over to the sculptor, and the sculptor allows you to make statues from logs, cubes, and ingots. So we have a lapis lazuli statue of a goblin, which is very nice. It's very nice if you're because your statues actually increase the value of your base. So if you make statues out of nice things, you get good value. But you see, this statue that is made of lapis lazuli, well, you see, statues by default are made of logs. So when you disassemble a statue, it gives you a log, but it remembers the material it was made out of. So I have converted the lapis lazuli ingot into a lapis lazuli log. Now, why would I do that? Well, you see, there is no way to make gemstone or metal weapons in this game. Because there is no recipe in this game that accepts gemstones or ingots to make weapons. So by doing this, by creating logs, this is a way to circumvent this in order to get metal weapons and ammo. So that is the final piece of the Forbidden Art of Alchemy, is using disassembly tricks to convert essentially any material into a log to make into weapons and armor. There's also a way to make... I forget how to do it. There's a way to, like, convert the there's some way to convert the log into a cube. And that's like how you can turn any material into any of the craftable armors. But yeah, that's my big magic trick of the day. And a very interesting thing that you can actually do with this. So let's go back. Let's make 2 copper ingots. Convert those into copper statues. Copper statue of a crab. Copper. Ooh, that one's cool. Copper statue of a scorpion. Copper statue of a crab. And then get ourselves our copper logs. The game will allow us. If the game will allow us. There we go. Let me save. Unfortunately, we have to disassemble the sick-ass statue of a scorpion. We'll convert those into planks. Somebody just leveled up back there? Who the fuck was that? Okay. Okay, so now we actually want exactly one more. So every time you successfully dupe in this manner, you will only get one. You just need to keep one in the end. Okay, so now we have all of the copper planks that we need. Create copper boomerang. I did not want to walk over there, please. Please stop doing that. So we need 2 strings. So we can create a copper boomerang that deals lightning damage. And make our regular wooden boomerang look like absolute dog shit. Yay! 2d4. And it's also slightly, I think it's slightly heavier, so it deals, yeah, so it deals more damage because throwing weapons incorporate the weight of the weapon to the damage. I'm just gonna give her the regular boomerang. Take those rocks away. Okay. Let's see, have we killed 100 monsters? Or have we already burnt all of our coppers off of that? So yeah, via esoteric knowledge, this is a way that you could make... So lapis lazuli in and of itself isn't that useful. You can make... It's one way to make like a helmet with water breathing on it, which is slightly useful. But an interesting thing that you can do pretty early on is if you get an onyx, which are generally kind of rare, you can get a boomerang that deals darkness damage. And if you have darkness damage on your boomerang, you can blind people with your boomerang. And if you have a copper boomerang, such as this one, you can paralyze people with a boomerang. And that's really strong. If you can manage to get those special damage types onto stuff like arrows and boomerangs, you can have like extra damage types and status effects. And that's the point where it kind of tips over a little bit. Maybe you're not supposed to have... Maybe you're not supposed to have electric boomerangs and darkness boomerangs and stuff like that this early in the game. That's the only like outlet. It's a very good source of like you get some copper, convert the copper into logs because the game doesn't properly code what the statue's made out of, and allows you to turn anything into a log, which allows you to turn anything into a weapon. Very funny. This also lets you do some strange things. Another little esoteric thing that you can do. So let's use this. It's a different little tech, but you can also make nails out of your ingots. So let's make some copper nails. Now, under normal circumstances, what you make nails out of is bones. Now, if you've been paying attention, the way disassembly works, the base material of an item is preset. And what they disassemble into is preset. So the base, like, material for a nail is a bone. So what happens when you drop the nail and then disassemble it, you end up getting, if the game will play nice. Nope, I did not want to pick up the nail. Let's save that again. Is a copper bone. So, what happens if... You know, I'm actually curious. Can I put this... Let's see. Let's see if you can make copper powder this way. I don't know if there's any use for that. Let's try and make some copper powder. So let's make one more copper ingot. And let's make one more copper nail. No, not that way. This way. The copper. Wait a minute. I can use... Oh, because yeah, because you can cycle it. You can turn it, disassemble, reassemble. Okay, that's not that weird. Okay, so stop that. Please stop running in random directions. So disassemble, copper nail, get copper bone. And if it doesn't work, I want my bones back, so we're actually going to save before we do this. And then put the copper bones into the grinder. And no, it just makes regular bone powder. Okay. Fun experiment number 1 over. So, continuing on with our previous train of thought, what happens with a bone? So what you'll notice is the bone is categorized as a body part. This might take a couple more tries, because this is a little bit more random. So what happens when you disassemble a bone? Come on. I know you can do it, bone. I know you have it in you. Might take a couple tries. I think this one's a little bit rarer. I've seen it happen before. I swear it should work. Unless it doesn't work with copper bones specifically. No. Okay. Well, I guess to skip to the point, what you used to be able to do is that when you disassemble a bone, it can give you a corpse, and then you can cook the corpse and eat the bone. And this is a roundabout way to eat metal. Because it can randomly drop a pork chop, and then you can cook the pork chop and eat it. It doesn't have any special effects, because I don't think it's intended. But that is one way that you can convert, like, plastic into food if you really wanted to. But yeah, that's the full circle on the Forbidden Art of Alchemy. This is one way to convert your to convert your metals and your gems into weird stuff. Because the way the crafting system works is it doesn't properly remember exactly what you're making your things out of. So you end up with some weird effects. Okay. So now that we've done that and we've got our fancy boomerang, that was just a small upgrade to make that a little bit stronger. And now that we have that little workflow all accounted for, let's just put this in there. Now I'm pretty sure there's some way to convert the planks back into a rock. How would I do that? There's a recipe. Which one was it? I'm like 99% sure. I'll have to do research on that later. But yeah, that's the magic trick. So what are we going to be doing now? I think we're basically back into normal Ellen territory, if you can call anything about Ellen normal. Okay. Now I'm directionless. I was so excited to make the fancy boomerang that I forgot that I didn't have all the materials I needed to make all of the fancy boomerangs that I wanted to make. So let's see. No mail. So let's think about it. So we've got our copper boomerang, and we've got our whole setup here. The next thing I want to do is I want to get... What does this do? Oh, it changes the background. I don't even remember. I think it was on that. I want to get the farming skill and the cooking skill, and I believe you get both of those up in a village to the north. So that's what we're going to need to do. But in order to get that, we're going to need a bunch of platinum coins, which means we're going to have to do a bunch of quests. So where I like to go early on... Did we die up here? I don't think we ever actually... Oh, we started this dungeon. It's just telling us that we started the dungeon and then we died. So we can just ignore that. So let's do some quests for a little bit up here. And let's put away the hammer. Just in case. So we don't accidentally... yellow flower? Sure. 24 kills? Sure. Oh, we sold the handgun, which is a pity. And I believe we can just take a yellow flower off the ground here. Just give her... Okay. I don't think we got any gold for that. Okay, this is the guy for the monster slaying. Let's go check out the village that I was... Oh, we're hungry. We have no food. Okay, so food is our #1 priority right now. Damn. Which is another reason I don't think the staves are that useful, is if you can just make a special boomerang, you're pretty strong. Oh, we are dying. Okay. Have to remember that we are a frail witch. Yeah, it is like a random proc whether or not it does the extra damage. Or it does the, like, lightning strike. But when it does, it is extremely powerful. Alright, so let's just clear this place out. And that is a level. So now we can get our final level of Dreamwaker, which is going to let us get even more powerful levels of spells when we sleep. It's particularly good on those crabs because they're also weak to lightning. And I think that's probably gonna be all the food that we get out of this place. We could also try and hunt the animals a little bit, just to see. I think the elemental damage makes it less likely to actually get... No. I don't want to talk to the pig. I want to kill the pig. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's just continue on to the village. Or we can get jumped. Okay, so let's just continue on to the village. Just to see if there's any quests to do. We're hungry again. Yeah. And we're sleepy again, so let's just sleep. So this nice little village is where you get, like, farming-related skills from. Let's see... Where is the trainer? Right there. So, in order to get... We want... You don't have cooking. Where do I already... You do have farming, though. So in order to buy skills, you need platinums. In order to get platinums, you need to do quests. Crops. I cannot stand any more of this insolent, disgusting race of goblin. They beg you to kill 11 of them for me. I don't like the specific enemy quests, because there's no guarantee you'll find the specific enemies. And these are all crop quests, which I am not equipped for. So we basically came up here for no reason. So... we also need to get some food real quick. How much time has it been? So yeah, I think once I get back to base, I'm gonna call it for tonight because it's been about 2 hours. But yeah, that's our quest for next time. Do some quests, get some platinum, and then buy cooking and farming. So those are very important skills that the game essentially entirely revolves around a lot of the time. Okay, so let's clear this out so we don't starve on our way back home. And that looks like it's about it. That should do fine. Give her something actually cooked to eat. Yeah. For whatever reason, they refuse to eat. I think it's they refuse to eat ingredients, and they changed it so that like all of the raw foods and stuff you can find are ingredients instead of food. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. Oh, this isn't home. Let's see, how much time do I have? I got 5 minutes. All right. Let's get home. Let's get home here. Okay. Okay, now we're home. So I think I managed to complete all of my goals for today. Set up all the crafting stations that I need. Show off the weird like cube plank duplication glitch. Get all of the special rocks. Show off the way to make metal and gemstone weapons. Complete my course on the Forbidden Art of Alchemy. And next time we're just going to be doing some quests, doing some dungeon delving to earn some platinum coins in order to learn some skills. And you know what, while we're at it, let's go ahead and collect these tomatoes, because once we have a good source of tomatoes running, we shouldn't be worried about food anymore. And the clownfish is still crap. So you have to choose between actually gathering them and getting the seed. I'm trying to fill up this little pasture with seeds before I actually start gathering them properly. Okay. But yeah, and once we have cooking and farming, that's going to make us significantly more food, and then that's going to solve all of our food problems for a long time. And cooking is also very important because cooking gives you skill points, which makes you stronger. So having good food, farming good food, is also extremely important. And let's see if I've dragged this out for 5 more minutes. No, I haven't. But nonetheless, I think that's where we're going to end off. Next time we're going to do some questing, get some platinum coins, get those skills, and have some fun. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.